Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass have already proven their incompetence and poor leadership during the Los Angeles wildfires. Now, as we experience rampant lawlessness and civil unrest, it's never been more clear California's in a state of turmoil. And I asked...
Can I curse? I don't know if I can.
Please.
Okay.
You must. It's a necessity.
So, Democratic establishment candidates are full of shit. And I need people to understand that. And we need to get out of this like vicious pendulum swing cycle where we go from one terrible administration to another terrible administration. They just have different branding.
California has suddenly transformed into the most bizarre circus imaginable, and the main attraction isn't the clowns. It's the spectacle of chaos unfolding at the highest levels. Mel Gibson storms into the scene like an unscripted action hero, while Kasparian ignites the fray with her sardonic flamethrower of commentary. And then there's poor Gavin Newsom, who arrived with his signature hair gel and polish persona, only to be thoroughly outmatched and beaten down by the sheer absurdity of it all. If you thought politics was already chaotic, brace yourself. This meltdown makes reality TV look like a quiet church bake sale. So grab some popcorn and settle in. The entire affair has plunged into outright ridiculousness.
A President Newsom candidacy look like in a general election, not just pandering to the left?
Yeah, good question. He would sell out the American people to corporate interests, just like he did with PG&E, starting fires and destroying countless Californians' lives as a result of that. He bailed them out.
Mel, any message from you to Governor Newsom or Karen Bass tonight?
Spend less on hair gel. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, what can I say to them? Not big admirer of either.
I don't like them either.
If you're enjoying this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's more valuable than you might realize. California increasingly resembles a sprawling movie set where the extras have bizarrely taken charge. The lead actors have forgotten their lines, and the director has stormed off in frustration. In theory, it's still the crown jewel of America, a sun-drenched paradise of palm trees, innovation, and overpriced avocado toast. But under Gavin Newsom's direction, it's starting to feel more like a low-budget disaster film, one where the special effects team walked off set halfway through, leaving chaos unfolding in plain sight.
And I asked my fellow Angelinos, why are Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass still in office? How much more of their destructive decision-making masquerading as leadership are we going to tolerate? It's time to take back our community and our state and put the power and the privilege in the hands of competent leaders whose goals are to protect us and the way of life this nation was founded upon and promises to offer.
Take a look at San Francisco. The city once defined by the glittering promise of the Golden Gate Bridge now more closely resembles a post-apocalyptic wasteland, where tech professionals on electric scooters weave through sprawling tent cities that dominate entire blocks. The situation in Los Angeles is hardly any better. While the iconic Hollywood sign still presides over the basin, it's a bitter symbol of faded glamour for residents who must navigate streets scarred by potholes deep enough to swallow a small car. The glitter is gone, leaving behind a harsh reality that no amount of sunshine can.
He's so cool and relatable in his genes, and but like from between Cuomo and Newsom, these are actually two really good examples of people who represent the Democratic Party establishment who have not fully reckoned with their unpopularity during the COVID crisis and are now sort of trying to be as powerful as they were before without, I don't know, maybe actually even being seriously introspective as opposed to whatever the hell that was.
You're absolutely right, okay, in your analysis. And let me just say, you know that I like you when I'm willing to sit through a podcast episode featuring Gavin Newsom just to prepare for this. Okay, because I can't stand him. I can't stand his raspy voice. And it's not for any superficial reason other than the fact that I live in California. Mm-hmm. I've had the displeasure of experiencing.
Gavin Newsom smiles, his slicked back hair gleaming under the lights as he performs the familiar ritual of political theater, pretending the state is just one more speech, one more policy, away from redemption. But behind the polished facade, a starkly different reality unfolds. Businesses are fleeing California's shores like swimmers from a shark, and hardworking Californians are losing their jobs and stability at a rate that feels less like an economic downturn and more like a hemorrhage.
We deserve much more and much better, and there is absolutely no adequate excuse the governor or mayor can make for this gross mismanagement and failure to preemptively deal with what they knew was coming. Was it incompetence? Was it indifference? Complacency? Carelessness?
Yes.
Was it negligence? Absolutely.
Then there's Mel Gibson. Yes, that Mel Gibson, the Hollywood outlaw, a man who built his legacy playing hard and tough guys who could take a punch and give one right back. Watching him step into the political circus of California is like watching a battle-scarred warrior crash a beauty pageant. He's entirely out of place, and yet you can't look away. You know something explosive is about to happen. Gibson looks at Gavin Newsom and doesn't see a governor. He sees a failed director. The set is crumbling, the actors are miserable, and the script is pure nonsense. This is supposed to be the dream factory, the glittering landscape of Oscar season and eternal sunshine. But to Gibson, the dream has curdled into a palm tree-lined nightmare. He doesn't need charts or statistics to make his point. He simply tells it like it is. The piles of trash on once great streets, the brazen criminality, the endless procession of U-Hauls headed for Texas like a modern-day pioneer exodus from a kingdom in collapse. He speaks the raw, unfiltered truth that so many feel but few in power dare to acknowledge.
He totally bailed them out. He has provided protection for them, even though they absolutely refused to update their century-year-old equipment, which everyone knew was going to lead to devastating wildfires. That's exactly what happened. The fire that happened in
Hawaii, same thing there, Maui?
Yes, but look, what happened in Hawaii is very similar.
But while Mel Gibson unloads his Hollywood-sized broadside, Anna Kasparian is quietly honing her blade. She isn't here to strike with a wild swing. Her purpose is surgical precision. If Gibson delivers the emotional gut punch, Kasparian arrives with the cold, hard receipts. She dismantles Newsom's record in a way even his most loyal supporters can't easily dismiss. What makes her critique so devastating is her perspective. She isn't attacking from the right. In theory, she should be in his camp. They ought to be allies, both fighting for social justice, progressive values, and against inequality. But Anna isn't swayed by staged photo ops or glossy press releases. She's looking squarely at his embarrassing results. In her view, Newsom isn't just failing, he's betraying the very people he claims to represent. Her mockery is laced with sarcasm that makes the audience laugh even as it underscores a grave disappointment. It's like watching someone calmly disassemble a Lego tower, piece by piece, until all that remains is a scattered pile of colorful plastic shame.
In 2019, I think Newsom said, I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything. And then on top of that, they cut the water off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all funny. And then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, it's sad. It's like the place is just on fire.
Well, the whole state is just so poorly managed.
The beauty of this 1-2 punch lies in its perfect contrast. On one side, you have Mel Gibson, the wild-eyed rebel, pounding his fists against the crumbling walls of the fortress with raw, unfiltered outrage. On the other, Anna Kasparian operates as the master strategist, slipping through the cracks with intellectual precision and systematically dismantling the foundation. Trapped between them, Gavin Newsom no longer looks like a rising Democratic star. He looks like a man caught in a brutal, unscripted roasting session he never saw coming. And the brilliance of their critiques lies in their resonance. Gibson's fury echoes the daily frustrations of everyday Californians who've watched their state decline firsthand, but his reach is broader and far more dangerous. He represents a cultural and social backlash, the growing sense that California's glamour has eroded into dysfunction. Kasparian, meanwhile, embodies an ideological betrayal. She speaks for those on the left who've run out of patience with empty symbolism and failed leadership. Together, they form a political tag team more devastating than anything Newsom could have prepared for. If this were a movie, you might almost feel sorry for him. Picture the polished politician on stage, smiling through the storm, gesturing smoothly, and trying desperately to project an air of composure, even as the entire structure around him is being torn down, piece by painful piece.
2014, voters in California overwhelmingly supported a ballot measure to support building more reservoirs in the state in order to bulk up our water infrastructure because we live in a drought-prone state. That passed in 2014. Funding was attached to it. You want to know how many reservoirs have been built since 2014? Zero. This state is an utter joke because of the people who are governing it. Gavin Newsom right now is at the top of that list. For a little over a week now, California Governor Gavin Newsom has been posting in the style of President Donald Trump. And he's getting a lot of admiration for it. So he's basically engaging in this trolling campaign, and he's been very successful with it on X. Many of those posts have actually racked up tens of thousands of likes. And look, it does play well in the paradigm of left versus right. When you see politics as team sports and nothing more than tribal politics.